Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. You're tuned into Revive FM 94.0. This is your host, it's Brother Rafiq. We've got a bit of a special show today, inshallah. Hope everyone is keeping well. We're into a second lockdown to avoid or to reduce the effects of the second wave of the coronavirus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep all of us in his divine protection. And in addition to that, let's make sure everything's coming through okay. In addition to that, many of us have lost loved ones. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, grant them forgiveness and grant them a high maqam in the hereafter, and grant paradise to those who have left us. Now, today's show is something unique. With me is an old friend. We've known each other for years now. Brother Asif Shakoor. Brother Asif, assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, Brother Asif?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Well, Brother Asif, thank you for joining me. The show is Minhaj al-Sālihīn, and we bring in different items now and then. Sometimes it's guests, scholars, guest imams, people who kind of have done work for the community, and sometimes we bring people on who like to bring something unique or something different for our listeners and viewers. You've been collecting a lot of material related to the topic we're going to discuss, and the topic is Mawlid in the West, or in Europe, the West and Europe, from the 1730s till the present day. I mean, originally we were going to call it Mawlid in the West, and then we thought Mawlid in Europe. But then you pointed out that some of the artifacts you have are from the States, United States, and Brazil, which is a part of the West, I guess. Well, probably not Brazil, but definitely the United States, and then definitely not Europe. Brother Asif, what encouraged you to start looking into this? I mean, when did you start this collection?
It's a good question first. I started a few years ago, actually, or probably 5 years maybe. It was after Allama Sadiq Qureshi encouraged me. He was always about doing an exhibition on Mawlid. So I'd sort of done it from a slightly different angle, though. But I've sort of looked at the aspect in the West and looked at historical manuscripts and so forth, and press photos and postcards and much more. So I've looked at it from a different angle, but that's what encouraged me.
Right. So we're going to be displaying a lot of these items. So inshallah, it'll be probably the first time that these will have been the first time since these items were published. Since some of these items were published, that they will be put out for the public. So what we'll do, we'll move on to just a guess. How many items do you have?
I must have a few dozen or more, probably near about 50 items or so.
50, mashallah, just on the topic of Mawlid alone.
That's right.
Mashallah. Okay. So what we're going to do, we'll flick over to the presentation. Right. So what's this that we have here? This is it's a drawing. It's like some celebration going on there. Decoration at the top. What's going on there?
That's an engraving published in 1730, and what that shows is it's just like a sketch, literally showing the Ottoman Mawlid in Turkey, and this was published in the West. I think it was published in Germany. It says at the bottom, one of them, Bayram, but Bayram someone might think it means Eid, but Mawlid was also called an Eid, so it was published as Bayram, but it's actually a Mawlid in Ottoman Turkey.
So the Ottoman Empire arranged, and the Ottoman Empire, as we know, large parts of it well, large Europe, Eastern Europe, made up large parts of the Ottoman Empire, up to Bulgaria, Romania. These areas were part of Muslim lands for 300-400 years. So that is quite unique. So this is one such celebration. What's the year of this depiction?
The year of this is 1730.
1730.
So it's quite a long while.
Location Istanbul.
And is Istanbul in modern day Turkey.
Okay, so it's flicked over to the next one. What's that we've got there?
I think it's a bit difficult to say, but it seems like to me is this one.
No, you have to be quick. Flick it over. Yeah. So we've got the three gentlemen. What's going on there?
It's a celebration of Maulid, but although in Western published manuscripts it was sort of depicted in a different way, where it seemed like a fun fair or something, but it wasn't actually a fun fair as such. But
what year is this from?
This is from 1730. I've got the actual originals here. They're actually
as well. Wow.
Quite old.
Okay, just display the original. I'll just look at the photo color. And I just want the people at home looking at this just to see this. If you just hold it up to the camera, it just looks. I mean, look at that. That is an original. I mean, wow! Look at that. There we go. I mean, that is great. So is that an actual original?
That's actual original because you can see from the back the way the paper is. Well.
MashaAllah. So, wow.
That's a
museum item.
Actually, antique things, and it does say.
It looks like an antique.
And it does say at the bottom, one of them, I think it's in German language, it says Mohammedans, as for Muslims, in other words.
That would be,
And you can see from this sketch, the people are wearing jubbas or cloaks, and they've got Ottoman turbans on and so forth.
MashaAllah. Wow. So, and then there we go. They're your own own items. That's MashaAllah. Right. Okay, so you've done 1, 2. Okay. Okay, so the next item, which should be appearing. So we've got the 3 men, and they're in like a celebration. And if we scroll forwards, right. So what's this? Journal de Voyage. I don't know how you pronounce that.
It's a journal that was published on 25th November, 1877.
1877. Wow.
So again, this shows it says the Moors in Egypt celebrating the festival of the anniversary of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Maulid. Yeah. And it's kind of like I think to understand these sketches, you actually would need to go back, just like if you were studying William Shakespeare, you need to study the customs of the people at the time and so forth. It's probably the better way to understand them is to understand, because sketches really sometimes just trying to send a particular message out, which is why you might see people laying down on the floor. Well, that in a Maulid wouldn't actually happen in a Maulid as such. But this was a sketch depicting the Maulid in 1877 in November 25th. Sorry, that's
1877.
1877.
Okay. And what was the location of that again?
This was attributed to Egypt, a Maulid procession in Egypt. It seemed like it could be the local leader or an Ottoman leader or something.
Well, Egypt was occupied, if I'm not mistaken, by Napoleon, wasn't he? Wasn't it at some time?
That's right. We will come to that as well.
Oh, okay. So this is separate to that. This is Ottoman times. Okay, and I think Britain also occupied Egypt.
That's right. Britain did as well.
British invaded it as well. So but these commemorations, they were maintained during those times, I guess.
That's right.
Right. Okay. And so this is from the year
1877.
1877.
It's not quite clear the year there, but it is 1877.
1877. Wow. So that's.
And this was published in France. This sketch.
France. And what about this one? The campaign. So this sounds like campaign means like a battle, doesn't it? This is 1798. Do you have this in front of you?
I have it in front of me, but it's actually not. It's showing something from 1798, from a scene from 1798. And what it actually shows is Napoleon Bonaparte celebrating or attending or overseeing a Maulid procession in Egypt.
Wow. Napoleon himself.
That's right.
That is crazy.
And I don't know if you know, Rafiq, but there's also a book called the Letters of Napoleon or something. It's a book collection of letters that was wrote by Napoleon to Muslims, and Muslim leaders wrote letters back to him and so forth.
Yeah.
But this was actually published in 1832. So although it says 1798, but this is actually 1832. I've got the. It was also published. So it's published in France, but it was also published again in Germany. And you find it says something like in the German one, Gerbert Stag or Gerbert Fest, meaning it's a birthday festival or birthday feast. And it was published in Germany as well.
Can you display that on the camera?
I'll quickly show that as well. Actually, it's a good idea.
There we go. Okay, so that's that's Egypt, is it?
Yeah, that's Egypt.
Do you know what mosque or building is in the back, or is it just an imaginary kind of?
It could be an imaginary. It could even be a genuine mosque in the background. But it does require a lot of research, which I've not got around to just yet to understand it. But it definitely is a mosque.
Okay. All right. So if we go back to there. Right. So we've had Istanbul. We've had the Maulid in Egypt as well, and these are depictions in Western media at that time. And in terms of, for example, in terms of these works, the dates on these publications, they're the exact dates of when these items were published and printed. Yeah, is that correct?
For the Napoleon ones, it was actually 1832, to what I understand. It's 1832.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next one. So what's this? This looks. It says Sultan's return, hailing the Sultan's return. Where is that? Casablanca, Morocco. Yeah. Which Sultan is that?
I always wonder which Sultan it is as well. Yeah. It's interesting that you said this, Rafiq, because it's actually a press photo that's published in United States of America in November 1955, and it shows a Maulid procession taking place in Morocco, and it says, shall I just read the words out? It says, "Hail Sultan's return, veiled Arab women join their menfolk in a noisy demonstration at Casablanca, Morocco, Friday on the Muslim religious festival of Maulid." So it's Maulid.
So they call it a demonstration, or just demonstration as in like a display?
It's actually a procession and not a demonstration as such, like a protest or something.
No, because demonstration can be used in the sense of display as well. And this is a demonstration of what we do when we celebrate the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. So, okay. And that's in Morocco, Casablanca.
And then it says, the flag-waving Arabs took advantage of the occasion to salute the deposed Sultan Muhammad bin Yusuf, who's 2 year. I'll leave it at that. But it's actually, it does say about, it does say in the description that it's a religious festival of Maulud or Maulud, but it actually means Maulid.
Okay, mashallah. Okay, we're going to go on a quick short break. Stay tuned. We've got some more artifacts. Inshallah ta'ala, we will display them shortly. Stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Assalamu alaikum.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Turkish Kitchen. The best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
This is an important update about coronavirus. To help save lives, new national restrictions are now in place until the 2nd of December. You must stay at home. Only leave home for food, medical reasons, exercise, education, or work. You must work from home if you can and avoid travel unless essential. Go to gov.uk/coronavirus for latest guidance and exemptions. Stay alert. Control the virus. Save lives.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपकी एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए।
अभी कॉल मिलाएं 0300 3030 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Kebabish Original, one of the biggest names in the restaurant trade. Visit your local KO to experience the thrill of the grill and the most authentic Pakistani cuisine. From our kebabs to our curries and from our mixed platters to our peri-peri, our chefs prepare your food in front of you while you wait. KO is now offering franchise opportunities. To take advantage of our proven and successful business model, contact us on 0208 446 7779 or visit kebabishoriginal.co.uk.
The new NHS COVID-19 app shows me my risk of coronavirus and helps me protect my mum.
It lets me know fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can quickly warn Dan.
It shows me the risk level in my area immediately, so I can tell Sue.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, like Kim and Chris.
The more of us who get the app,
the better we can control coronavirus.
Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. You're tuned into Revive FM 94.0. The show is Minhaj al-Sālihīn. With me is brother Asif Shakoor, and we were discussing some historic Mawlid images which depicted celebrations in Europe and in the West, going back over 100 or 200 years. We discussed Casablanca, a Mawlid in Casablanca in Morocco, where people were kind of seeing off the Sultan of that time, and they had gathered for the Mawlid. So what we'll do, we'll turn back to the images, and originally we'd also covered the depictions of the Mawlid in Istanbul, in Turkey, and also how these celebrations may have been assumed to be in the West, because as a celebration as a festival type occasion. But I was saying I think it was this last week, that Allama Ibn Taymiyyah, he described it as a mawsim, as a season, Mawlid season, and for many it is. Okay, so we've covered the Sultan's return. That was in Casablanca, and the image that's going to come after that. Okay, so where is this now?
So this image that you're seeing now is actually a Mawlid in Calcutta in India.
What year is this?
And it was in the year 24th April 1941. So it's actually during the Second World War.
Okay, this one here. What is this?
And this is interesting because this is actually in French, and it was actually Mawlid attended by the last Ottoman Sultan when he was exiled in France.
What, and who's that? Sultan Abdul Majid.
Abdul Majid, that's it. The second.
What's this? Is the Mawlid invitation card?
I think you're going quite quick. So.
Yeah.
This is a Mawlid invitation card sent to Colonel Brett, and this was during the First World War in 1915.
Wow. And this one, we're going to come back to these. You're going to explain again.
This is a Mawlid in 1914. It was in Morocco, attended by the Sultan.
Sultan, okay.
The Moroccan Sultan.
Moroccan Sultan, okay. And this is another French.
And this is the reverse of that same postcard, and it's December 1914.
December 1914.
So it's during the First World War.
That's right. So this one's dated 1st August 1915.
That's right.
And is this a Mawlid? It does say.
This is again a Mawlid, and it was, I think, this is the picture of it actually.
Oh, subhanallah. So it's a postcard.
It's a Mawlid in Morocco, in Casablanca.
Fite du Mawlud. Mashallah, Casablanca. Wow, 1915. Look at that.
And this is actually got the stamp on it. So this one's still, you come to now,
Cairo.
It's actually Cairo. It says in Arabic, Misr there. I think this was, I'm not too sure what date that reads at the top. But it's 39. A Mawlid. And again, this is a Mawlid envelope that was published in, that was released in Iraq in 1965.
Okay. Let's go and discuss them now. You can't have everything. Okay. So, right. So we've had postcards there. Because I remember the times where you'd have an enveloped letter sent out you have an envelope, letter inside, sent out to your contacts, and there were also international letters. Now the international letters were one sheet of A4. You'd write the message inside there and fold that one sheet up, stick the sides, and that would be your envelope. Envelope and letter all in one. Right? And then you had those airmail, the blue envelopes, airmail envelopes. There was a time where those were used. But there were also postcards. So with the postcards, they on the one side you'd have a picture. On one side you had a picture. On the other side, a message with your address. So that was the basic setup of that. So these appear to be postcards, with maybe like a souvenir type postcard. So, but we don't know what country of origin they are, do we?
Well, most of them are actually probably published in the West. That's what I understand from having looked at them. Apart from the Mawlid invitation card, which was from the First World War, that was actually published in.
Do you want to display that?
I'll quickly show that.
Yeah.
That was published in I think in Egypt. This one here.
Yeah. So that on the one side you've got that's in English, because I guess Egypt was an English colony. It was a colony of Britain. Yeah, and it actually says what does it say? It says Mawlid al-Nabi.
Shall I quickly read it out?
Yeah.
It actually says, the President and Committee of the celebration of the festival of the Mawlid al-Nabi request the honor of, Captain Brett. Presence at the Abbas Square, 5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, the 27th of January 1915. That's in the First World War, when the British soldiers were serving in Egypt.
Grand Qadi Muhammad Mustafa al-Maraghi. Okay.
And then it says, بمكان الاحتفال بميدان Abbas, it's in Yom al-Arba and so forth.
Yeah, so that'll be Yom al-Rabi. That's Wednesday. It will be. Well, that is amazing, and it's amazing that it's bilingual on one side. Yeah, and the one side it's in Arabic, and the other side in English. That is quite unique. I mean, I don't want to go into too many details of how you managed to acquire this. Okay, how can I word it? What's the most expensive item you think you managed to acquire?
It's a good question, but I wouldn't like to say what's most expensive. But
do we need security in here?
I think it's probably the 1730. The ones I showed of 1730, the Mawlid in Turkey, Ottoman Turkey. That was actually probably the most expensive item of all of these items here.
Wow. Okay.
But again, they will vary because it depends.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. All right, and I think after that there was there was a French picture with an open ground from 1914, and that didn't have a location though. Or was that the one with the horses? It was actually a photo.
I think that was Morocco.
That was Morocco. Okay, yeah. The flag's different. It's not an Ottoman flag, and I guess large parts of Western and Northern and Western Africa were colonialized by France. So, okay, so that's also a postcard. And was that published? Do you know where that one was published?
I think that was published in. I'm not too sure, but it may have been published in 19.
Do you know where it was published? Where it was published?
I think it's probably published in. I'm not too sure. I would like to comment. Is it the one 1914?
Yeah.
It doesn't say on the back. I think it was published in Morocco.
In Morocco, okay.
Yeah, I think it's published in Morocco.
Itself. That's right. Okay. And the other image that we covered was the 1st of August 1915, I think it was. And that looks like a historic image. I mean, this is 105 years old. A nice gathering, and that one's from Casablanca. And are there any additional? Is there any additional information available about that?
Sorry, would it possible to?
Yeah. So that one, it's didn't quite follow that one there.
I think there's some additional information probably on the reverse of it.
Yeah.
So we know it was published in August 1915. I think one of them bears a stamp from the army lieutenant stamp.
Okay.
It's from probably
postage stamp, like not to actually post the letter, but when it gets processed, they stamp it as it's getting processed. Okay. I think that is really good. All right.
I think there's another one I have here, which is similar to the one we were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
It was actually posted on 21st January 1916, and it shows the Mawlid again, and it bears a stamp from the Regiment Territorial Defense Lieutenant Colonel. So it's actually maybe it was sent to a soldier serving, I don't know, in the First World War. Maybe it could be something else.
Yeah. Okay. Mashallah. So, okay. And then we've got we've got the postcard from Iraq, 1966. It's dated 11/7/1966, and that says Bimolid.
It's actually 11th July 1965.
Right.
It's got a stamp that was published in Iraq for Mawlid.
Okay.
And it says Dhikra bi Mawlid al-Nabawi Sharif, and it says 12 Rabiul Awwal.
So so it's a stamp dedicated to the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's nice. I mean, you'd think that if it's a Muslim country, the least they can do is mark the day of the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? I mean, I don't know. I think that's the least that anyone would do if they're going to be if it's a country that hopes to emulate his noble character and teachings, then that is what you'd expect. That's what I would have expected anyway. I don't know. Okay, so we've just got the images again going through, and so if you're looking at this, these are historic images of the Mawlid Sharif from different parts of the world during different times. And are these numbered yourself? Do you number them for your own archives? Or
no, I've not numbered them myself.
Okay. So and the English, as you say, the language, the culture, everything is going to be very different from what it is, now. I love this image. It just seems so kind of a world away. It's completely away from from the hustle and bustle of the city, and it's got a spiritual
I
feel
wanted
to
to
it.
mention this, Rafiq, because it's quite interesting about the image from Calcutta, which I showed earlier.
Yeah.
It's not on the slide.
Okay, so
I think.
if we stop this, okay.
This,
yeah.
If I just quickly.
Yes, yeah, the huge gathering prostrating. Yeah. What year is that one?
This was in, sorry, I think this was, I'm just trying to work out, I've got the date somewhere. It was actually 24th April 1941, and it was actually in the Second World War.
During
it
the
actually
Second World War.
mentions about Calcutta, India, a sea of kneeling faithful, let's go, Muslims on the birthday of Muhammad, which means Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is a street in Calcutta, but the scene to a lesser extent was duplicated in England and Egypt and elsewhere when Muslims serving in the Indian army observed the Prophet's birthday.
Oh, hang on. So they're saying that the same scene was repeated in England and where else?
And Egypt.
And Egypt, where with sailors or soldiers serving
of the Indian army serving.
Indian army serving. So that's quite amazing, really.
I'd like to mention here, Rafiq, that Dr. Guy Bowman, he wrote a book recently called The Indian Contingent. And again, he's mentioned, he's given actually a picture, and he also speaks about the Indian army celebrating Mawlid in I think, Italy, during the Second World War. So it's quite interesting that the Mawlid celebration in the West go back probably early and well early.
Very early, yeah. Wow, mashallah, that is interesting. And that image, is that is that from a book, or is that just a picture?
It's good you mentioned that, because it's actually a press photo, but which is held by the International News Force. So basically, they still are the copyright holder of that photo. So I couldn't use it for commercial reasons, but I could probably use it in a presentation or something.
Brilliant. I mean, that's good. I mean, but how did you find it? If it's in a newspaper from 1941? How on earth did you come across that? You weren't reading newspaper. You weren't alive then, were you?
No, I wasn't. But
you're doing quite well if you were.
It's just really, really interesting, because it's like a Mawlid to me. I want to show that wider picture of Mawlid. That Mawlid wasn't.
Look at that, no grey hairs, and
just something that
they lived in 1941.
It's something that Mawlid wasn't just that something that began in. Mawlid celebrations weren't held by the Indians who came here probably early in something like 1950s or 1960s when the Pakistanis, the Bengalis came here. There was actually Mawlid celebrations were held in the UK much earlier, and I've got a book here. Actually, I don't know if I should.
We'll come back to that. We're going to go on a quick short break. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपकी एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए। अभी कॉल मिलाएं 0300 3030 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
I wash my hands to protect my family.
I wear a face covering to protect my mates.
I make space to protect my colleagues.
Hands.
Face.
Space.
I wash my hands to protect strangers.
I wear a face covering to protect other passengers.
I make space to protect you.
Hands.
Face.
Space. As we spend more time indoors, we need to do whatever we can to help protect each other from coronavirus. So please, wash hands, cover face, make space.
Turkish Kitchen. The best Turkish food you'll ever taste. We only use the highest quality meat. Along with our mixed grill platters, we serve cold mezes, hot mezes, lahmacun, and a wide selection of fish options. To order for delivery or collection, call us now on 0208 507 8822. That's 0208 507 8822. Or visit us at 41 Ripple Road, Barking, IG11 7NT. We can also take group bookings and take care of all your party needs. The Turkish Kitchen, Barking.
We're facing the biggest health challenge of our generation, and we've shown that together we're stronger than ever. But to keep making a difference, we need to support each other. If you're a man and you've had coronavirus recently, then you might just have the antibodies to help save lives in your blood plasma. That's why we urgently need men to donate. Giving blood plasma is safe and easy. Be the difference. Search Donate Plasma or call 0300 123 2323 today.
The new NHS COVID-19 app immediately shows me the risk of coronavirus in my area, so I can warn Mel.
It lets me quickly check into venues with a QR scanner so I can protect Alid.
It tells me fast if I've been in contact with other app users who have coronavirus, so I can alert Emma.
It helps me protect all my loved ones, even Auntie Sue.
The more of us who get the app, the better we can control coronavirus.
Protect your loved ones.
Get the NHS COVID-19 app.
Download now at Google Play or the App Store.
This is an important update about coronavirus. To help save lives, new national restrictions are now in place until the 2nd of December. You must stay at home. Only leave home for food, medical reasons, exercise, education, or work. You must work from home if you can and avoid travel unless essential. Go to gov.uk/coronavirus for latest guidance and exemptions. Stay alert, control the virus, save lives.
Just the flu. People say every year. But in an average year, the flu kills 11,000 people and hospitalises tens of thousands more. There's no just about it. Flu is a virus that can cause serious complications. That's why we offer you the flu vaccine free. It's your very best protection. Ask your pharmacist or GP if you're eligible for the free flu vaccine. NHS. To protect against flu, help us help you.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. We're now going to switch over to our to the Mawlid presentation. So just before the break, we covered a number of images related to Mawlids in from Ottoman times and in the Ottoman Empire and in Istanbul, and particularly North Africa in Morocco and Egypt. So there were several displays from those areas. So just going through these again, and you could appreciate that some of these would have been extremely difficult to acquire. And I think, for Brother Asif to get hold of them, how did you get hold of them? Was it collectors, antique?
I would say it's been collectors, antique dealers, paper dealers, and
I think it's probably the first. You're probably the first person that I don't know anyone else who's done this. Just on the Mawlid, I'm looking at this as an Ottoman Sultan. I mean, where is that in a newspaper or
that was
Sultan
published
Abdul
in a
Majid?
French newspaper in 1922.
Wow! So
And it was,
just-
and that's when the Sultan was exiled, was staying in France, and it was Paris.
Right. Okay. So he was the acting Sultan, though, wasn't he? And until 1924, or was it 1922?
I think it was 1922.
Okay.
I'm not too sure of the dates, but it was 1922.
Yeah. Okay. And look at this. It's amazing. I mean, it looks like an army procession, but clearly they're marking an event, and on the top it says Mawlid. And look at that.
I wanted to share this postcard here, Rafiq.
That's going to come on the screen. It should be coming. So we're going to flick over to, my favorite image, which is going to be. It should be appearing shortly. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, it's just got another feel to it. It's like it's in a different world. I love this image so much. But it's once again part of you can say a part of it's a postcard once again. Okay, and then we've got another one there. Beautiful. Look at that. 12th Rabi al-Awwal. Okay, the last of the Lascars. What's this all about?
It's interesting you said that, Rafiq, because it's actually the picture on the front cover of this book is showing a Maulid procession that has been carried out by the Yemeni Muslims.
What year is that from?
And that's the good question is what year it is, because we don't, there's no indication on the book or inside the book of what year that is, but it is a Maulid procession and it's being led by the Yemeni community.
Okay. So there we've got,
and you probably may even be know that there's actually a video.
What's this? The infidel within?
The infidel. Oh, sorry. This is actually another interesting picture. This is from Humayun Ansari's book called The Infidel Within, and it shows the Maulid of not the Prophet peace be upon him, but the Maulid of one of the Alawi sheikhs of the tariqas in Yemen. Yeah. Okay. So I want to mention something that, as we've touched upon that there's recently a video been circulating showing Yemeni Maulid being celebrated in the UK, but that's being attributed to the Prophet Maulid, but it's not. I don't think it's the Prophet's Maulid. I think it's the Maulid of Sheikh Alawi. So and this is the same picture.
Abdullah bin Alawi al-Haddad.
I'm not too sure if it's his or whose, but I know it's one of the Alawi Sheikh's Maulid. So it's been someone's edited it and added the caption that is the Holy Prophet's peace on Maulid, but it's actually Sheikh Alawi's Maulid. So that. It's
I love this one.
Yeah. Look, this is interesting because this is a Maulid in Guyana in South America.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Maulid is celebrated in South America, and again, this is a stamp for the Maulid of Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi, and this is again published in Egypt. I think it was released in Egypt. So it's interesting that
you can show
your in Egypt.
You can show the item you're mentioning now. So
I want to share this postcard here.
Okay. Yeah. So where is this one from? This is beautiful.
This is actually a Maulid in Egypt, and it's in Cairo.
Okay.
And you can see the Al-Azhar caps or similar to Al-Azhar caps that they wear. And you could see the procession be carried out. And this postcard was posted in 1912, on 26 February 1912.
Amazing.
So it's amazing. It's almost 100 years old.
Can you show that?
Yeah, and it was sent to Italy.
And that's not a photocopy there. That is a 100-year-old card that you've got in your hand there. That's amazing. And what language is it's all in English?
It's actually, it seemed like to me it's Italian.
Italian, okay.
Because it says Italy on it with Italie. So it's
because Italy occupied Libya, so that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you've got museum items here. That is absolutely amazing.
So it just shows the wider picture of Maulid. And I remember I was once in Makkah. This might be a bit aside from Maulid in the West or Maulid in Europe, but I asked Sheikh Muhammad bin Alawi, about the West people object, or some people don't complain and don't celebrate it and so forth, and say you shouldn't celebrate it. And he told me in Arabic that my son, we celebrate it here in this masjid. So it's like this was in July 99 when I done my first Umrah. So it's like Maulid is not a Pakistani thing or Indian or Bengali festival. It's a national festival and it's done in the entire Muslim world.
MashaAllah. You got another book there you want to display?
So I was going to quickly mention this book here. I think you might have come across it before.
Islam in Victorian Britain. That's interesting. So this is going back 100 years.
And that's right. This book is quite interesting because it mentions here about the Maulids, the earliest Maulids in the UK, probably the earliest. And often it's thought that some Maulid processions took place in London and Blackburn, and Walthamstow, London, and I know Blackburn as well. And so it was thought that they were the earliest, but it was actually much earlier than that. And it's actually Ron Gives. He writes in here, in May 1906, the mosque celebrated the birthday of the Prophet. And Quilliam used the occasion to deliver a significant lecture on the relationship between Britain and Turkey. So he's referring to Abdullah Quilliam, the convert. And he's referred to Abdullah Quilim's mosque in Liverpool. They celebrate. So this was probably the earliest Maulid recorded or known in the UK is May 1906. This was well over 100 years ago.
That's amazing. But in terms of procession, does it mention any? You had another image showing a procession, or we can run the.
I've got a press photo here, which is actually a Maulid procession in Morocco. Don't know if it's going to be very clear. Or not.
Oh yes, yeah.
And this was published in the United States. Again, it's a photo that belongs to the international newsreel, and it reads in the back of it: the birth of the Prophet festivities were held here, marked by a great procession in which more than 6,000 Moors took part in native pomp and glory, with banners flying and carrying various religious trophies. The celebrants proceeded through the streets to the cemetery where they made sacrifices in accordance with the Moroccan custom. And this was an image published in a newspaper in the West, in the United States, on the 11th of July 1924. So it's almost 100 years, but it's significant because it's showing you Maulid procession. It's probably one of the early pictures published in the West, in a Western newspaper, showing Maulid procession.
That is amazing. SubhanAllah. Okay, carry on. I mean, I'm just fascinated.
I'm just wondering how we for time. Are we okay for time?
We've got as long as you want to carry on.
This is interesting as well because this is actually a photo of a man standing next to sacrificing a goat, and it's actually a Maulid picture, and it's got on the back La Fête du Maulud or something, and it's got 1st October 1925.
Okay.
And this is in Morocco, probably. I guess it's in Morocco.
Wow.
And at the back it says, I don't know if you can see it on there, it's not very clear, but it says it's a Maulid sacrifice for Maulid.
So it's a sacrificial meal for the Maulid season. SubhanAllah. Okay. MashaAllah. That's great.
And then it's interesting because there's quite a few other photos and images I'd like to share while we're here. And I just go to this picture here. There's actually a Maulid again in Brazil, in South America. Sorry, I would say South America, and it shows girls, young girls, attending a Maulid gathering, and this image is published in the Houston Chronicle on Friday, 4th January 1991. And it mentions about Cham girls wear traditional outfits and take turns reading during celebration of Muhammad's birthday. The Cham Indo-Chinese Muslims, it says, who once ruled the kingdom of Champa, is what is now southern Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
Fled the turmoil in Southeast Asia and have struggled to maintain their culture.
So these are immigrant communities, not ethnically Brazilian. I mean, most Brazilians are not ethnically from Brazil, but these are immigrant communities from a once Islamic country in southern Vietnam. You know, these are important. I think we're coming to the end of the show, but these are very important historic records that most of us will be completely unaware of. We don't know, or we didn't know that there were Muslim communities we didn't know there were Muslim communities in South Vietnam, let alone in Brazil. Okay, the communities in Brazil are immigrants, but in southern Vietnam, the photo that you showed, they were clearly of Southeastern origin. But I think that's fascinating. We're actually coming to the end. Do you want to
just share this last one? It's actually an image of a stamp that was published in Iran, and it's actually in Persian, and it says birth anniversary of the Prophet Muhammad, Unity Week they've called it, and it's published in Iran. So it's interesting seeing how Maulid was celebrated in Iran.
But Asif, we're out of time. We're out of time. We'll have to pick another day. Yeah, and this time we'll have the presentation done in a slightly different way so that it's more kind of engaging. Brother, Jazakallahu khair once again for attending and for bringing all these artifacts. It's unbelievable what you've brought. It's like a museum there. Please do look after it, and all the listeners at home and viewers, look after yourselves, inshallah ta'ala. We will meet again next week. From myself and Brother Asif. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Nitro Treats, the dessert lab where your treats are formulated before your very eyes. Keep cool with our flavoured shaved ice, or chill out with our exclusive Dragon Breath Nitro ice cream.